and September, October of the Gregorian calendar. So what we have to do is find this date that is compliant with these Nisan the 10th and also March the 21st are not in winter time. So in order to do that, we just simply look at this 3.5 year set right here. So we just look at different 3.5 year sets using the wedding feast as our marker. We're just plotting 3.5 year sections here that we're going to analyze. Now the wedding feast always happens on 7/15 on God's calendar or the Hebrew calendar, right here, and you just start right here and just count backwards 1,305 days. And see where it brings us to. Will it be Nisan the 10th, not in the winter, not on the Sabbath? Let's see where it brings, to see if it fits the prophecies. So we start out with 2004. 3.5 years later is 2007. We just look at our one given dates that we know. The Feast of Tabernacles or the wedding feast in 2007 happens to be on September the 27th. You can go to any calendar program, any library, anywhere and get these same dates. September the 27th in 2007 happens to be the day that the Feast of Tabernacles begins. It falls on. So just count back 1,305 days to see what this date is. This date happens to fall on March the 2nd, 2004, and it's the Hebrew date, Adar the 9th, which is the 12th month, the Hebrew's 12th month. So that doesn't match. It doesn't fit the prophecies. Let's try another set of 3.5 years, 2005 to 2008. The wedding feast that year in 2008 happens to fall on October the 14th. Count back 305 days. We come to March the 20th. That could hit. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Let's see what it is falls on the Hebrew calendar. If it falls on Nisan the 10th, we have a match. It falls on, this is one particular year they happen to have a 13-month year. It falls on 2nd Adar the 9th, so that doesn't match. Let's go to the next set, 2009 to 2012. Feast of Tabernacles that year is October the 1st. Back 1,305 days is to March the 7th, Adar the 11th. That's no match. Now let's look at the 2013, the year that Daniel gave us, the year for the Daniel prophecies. 2013 to 2016. And according to Daniel's years, 2013 began the Great Tribulation in the midst of the week right there. And according to Daniel's timeline, 2016 was the Lord's return, that little red marker right there. So let's see what the Feast of Tabernacles here. The Feast of Tabernacles is on October the 17th this year in 2016. Now, let's go to a March calendar. We're going to go to a March calendar in 2013. Here it is. March the 1st falls on a Friday. The end of winter is right there on Thursday, March the 21st. The next day is winter ends here. Here's the Sabbath. You should have said your flight not being in winter, then you go on the Sabbath. So there's those two dates, or those 2 days. We're going to lay the Hebrew calendar in now on top of the March Roman calendar. Adar the 20th falls on March the 1st. We're just simply counting on forward. Here's Nisan the 1st falls on March the 12th. Right on through. That's amazing right there. Utterly amazing. Now, here's Passover, and here's unleavened bread. And our tabernacles, here's our given date, is October the 17th. 2016 is October the 17th. Our Feast of Tabernacles, or the wedding feast, are called the Blessed Day. Now, simply all we do now is count backwards 1,305 days from here to there to see what date it comes up. It can't fall here, can't fall here, can't fall here, can't fall here. It could fall here or here. It could fall, it can't fall here. It's got to be before the Passover. It's got to match the Passover. I mean, Israel fled here. They left Egypt here. It's got to be before that. I mean, there's not much hope. I mean, there's not much room there. There's plenty of hope, but there's not much room for this to hit. So from October the 17th counting backwards 1,305 days to right here. And you can go to the library or anywhere that you want and count this and calculate this for yourself. It comes to exactly March the 22nd, 2013. Right there. The odds on that happening are astronomical. Astronomical. It falls. This is like going through the eye of a needle right here. So, we count backwards 30 days, and it brings us to the altar somewhere around February the 20th. And then to March the 22nd, right here is the image. So what we've done, we've qualified March the 21st. It's not on the Sabbath. Here's the Sabbath is the day after. It's not in the winter. Winter was over here. It's Nisan the 10th. We've hit it exactly. If the fleeing starts at the evening closing of this day right here, we're on Nisan the 10th. It's before the Passover. Daniel's timeline, it fits the day count and also fits 2013. All those things. Now counting on forward from here, the 1,260 days that the woman is fed in the wilderness and the two witnesses start their prophesying will begin here. 260 days later brings us to September the 2nd of 2016. There's our 45-day period right in here, the days after tribulation. Look what falls in between here. These are the days immediately following tribulation. These just happen to be the unfulfilled feast of the Lord, which Yeshua has not fulfilled at 100-fold measure as yet. First, we have the Feast of Trumpets falls in there at October the 3rd. Falls right there. The Day of Atonement falls right here. I guess we've all heard of the last trump, and we've all heard of the Day of Atonement. And the Feast of Tabernacles, which you've already covered, that is the wedding feast. Now, the last trump, or the Day of the Lord, the judgment, and this the 120th Jubilee year, and the wedding feast right here. Now, what about this vision of Revelation 12? Here is the sign, or here is the scripture that shows the sign. Revelation 12 says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head was a crown of 12 stars, and she being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and the 7 crowns upon his head, and his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child who was made to rule the nations with an iron of rod. Notice he's got some kind of a rod with him. And her child was caught up into God and to his throne. Now in Mark, the Lord himself says, and if the kingdom shall be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Now that's an interesting comment right there. Now let's turn to exactly what Daniel sees and what he's describing here. This is called the elliptic. This is what the heavenly bodies move across. All the Mazzaroth signs. This is like Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Leo is up here. This is what they move across. Here's Virgo. It says the moon will be under her feet, like this. It said they have a crown of 12 stars. Coma Bernice is well known to be there's 12 stars in this. It's well known to be a crown for her. Saturn. Now I know there's Saturn worship, there's evil Saturn worship, but whatever God created Saturn for absolutely precedes and dominates whatever man in his wickedness has created. So Saturn represents the man-child, or it represents Israel. And like I say, I know that there's Saturn worship, and this, I just can't stress enough that whatever God created things for precedes and overrides anything else man has dreamed up. And here's the serpent. It's called Serpent's Kaput. This constellation is very, very unique. It is the only constellation in the whole heavens that is divided among itself, but is still counted as one constellation. Here's Serpent's Claudia over